At the southern tip of Africa lies one of the most extraordinary ecosystems on Earth, the Cape Floral Kingdom. Roughly the size of Portugal and recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, it holds more plant species than Europe, with 2/3 found nowhere else on the planet.
Nature is not all about the big five. There's a whole lot of stuff to explore.
This week, we journey deep into this rich and rare landscape, meeting the storytellers, guides, and artists working to protect it.
I feel really lucky to be surrounded by these plants every day and to actually be working in the nature reserve.
I need to make people love the flowers. That is what protects anything in the world.
And then to London, where South Africa's blooms will once again compete for gold at what's often called the Olympics of gardening. This is Inside Africa.
There are many flower shows in the world, and a lot of them are much bigger than the Chelsea Flower Show. A lot of them are much older than the Chelsea Flower Show. But the Chelsea Flower Show had always this aura about it. It's the premier show in the world.
It draws designers, diplomats, and royals, all here to see the world's best botanical displays, and among them, representing South Africa, Leon Klugge. But before the crowds, the cameras, and the gold medals, it all begins here.
It really is only second to the Amazon, which is incredible. It's almost a miniature world in here.
A world away, in the windswept hills of the Western Cape, lies the source of Leon's inspiration. This is the Cape Floral Kingdom, a biodiversity hotspot that's unlike anywhere else on Earth.
The Cape Floristic region, or the fynbos Floral Kingdom, is the smallest floral kingdom in the world, but when it comes to density of diversity, it's one of the richest. If you look at Table Mountain, this mountain in the middle of this Cape Town city bowl basically, has more plant species just on that one mountain than the whole of the English countryside and all its territories.
Leon Klugge has dedicated his career to showcasing this biodiversity and sharing the stories of some of the most remarkable plants on the planet. And as he explains, survival in this landscape means adaptation and beauty with purpose.
This is called Brunsviga orientalis, or the candelabra lily. During the winter time, when it's full of rain and moisture, it makes massive leaves and it makes a ton of food. You can see the remnants of the leaves just next to the plant. But it makes no flowers. It waits. It's a patient plant. Then, when everything fades away and it's starting to get really hot and dry, it shoots this massive candelabrum of flowers. It's red in color, and there's a reason for that, because it attracts sunbirds, and sunbirds' eyes are focused on red and orange. They are very successful because there's hardly any other flowers at the moment with such abundance of food. Once the flowers pollinated, the color starts to fade quickly and it descends to the ground because it doesn't need the bird anymore. Then it dries out. But it has to do that at the exact timing. And that's when the seasons change and the wind starts to come into the valley. When the wind is at its strongest, the flower is completely dry. The wind breaks off the stalk, and so it starts to tumble throughout the vegetation here. And every time it lands with force onto the soil, a little bit of the seed stays behind, and so it spreads itself. So there's not a lot of plants that uses seasons in such an abusive way than this Brunsviga.
While designers like Leon take the fynbos to the world stage, Grootbos Private Nature Reserve offers guests the chance to experience it firsthand, immersed in the landscape itself.
Every day is different. There is no like a list of things that you have to do every day doing the same thing. So every day is different. I love that about my job.
That's the magic of nature, isn't it? If you look at a landscape like this, which is a botanical landscape, every month there has to be something else flowering to be able to sustain everything that's living there. So you can come in summer and you experience the great element of the sunshine and the ocean and being on the beach perhaps, but then you come in the winter where the proteas are just magnificently displayed. After the first rains, it's incredible.
Shiluva Kosa is one of 16 resident guides at this reserve. Her job is to lead guests on various activities. Having moved from Kruger National Park, where she would be looking to track down the Big Five, she now leads safaris of a very different kind.
If I leave a king protea here today, tomorrow if a different family wants to come back to the same flower, it's right where I left it. So I'm more relaxed here.
It's not just about the showpiece plants, like the king protea. Shiluva often stops to explain the fynbos's hidden gems, like the sour fig, a low-lying succulent with medicinal properties.
This plant plays a very important role here. When you take it out of the bush, you cut it open to expose the flesh, and then it's very watery. So if you have maybe a bite from blue bottle, horse flies, you just rub it on your skin, on the lips the same way. It also acts as a sunscreen, and then for sore throat as well. So medicine in our bush, right behind us.
From the healing plants like the sour fig to the tiniest wildflowers, much of the fynbos depends on nature's rhythms. And one of the most important? Fire. It's the reset the ecosystem needs, especially for smaller plants that only emerge after the flames have passed.
So the fynbos region of South Africa is very dependent on fires. But the fires can't be too regular. Otherwise, some of the plants do not get adult enough to make seed, and so the species start to dwindle. Next to us is a fire that happened about a season ago. And these leucodendron trees that are here are old. They've been here for probably about 20 years. So after 20 years, when these trees have reached maturity and is so massive, the soil is depleted of a lot of the nutrients. So you need that fire to come through to put back all the nutrients that's been absorbed by these massive trees back into the soil for all the babies to sprout again.
As more travelers seek out remote escapes and rare natural beauty, this landscape, with its flame-triggered flowers and hidden gems, is fast becoming a destination of choice. And for those who come, places like Grootbos offer a front-row seat to one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth.
Grootbos is quite a unique destination because we're in one of the most unique areas in the whole world. And it's really just about showcasing what's around us and taking these guests on a journey of exploration, of nature, of being immersed in all of this, and truly a discovery that they weren't expecting.
With the Indian and Atlantic Oceans meeting just a stone throws away, this coastline is not just bursting with plant life.
We have our whale watching in the whale season, which is from mid-June, end of June onwards through to the end of November. So we have mothers coming into the bay to have their calves, and they stay here for about 4 or 5 months as the calves get fatter. There's obviously things like shark cage diving around the bay. Everything about Grootbos is about discovery. It's about learning as much as we can about the area that we have here, and from the conservation side to the entomologists to the ocean, we really just want to understand where we are.
Tourism is a growing force in South Africa, bringing in 8.9 million visitors in 2024 alone. And the trend continues. The first quarter of 2025 saw a further 5.7% growth in arrivals. At places like Grootbos, that surge in visitors is helping to power conservation and lift local communities.
I think there's still capacity in this area for all sorts of different tourism. You know, we very much about the nature element, but to be able to walk up Table Mountain and just look out at the views and visit Robben Island, every day you can have something different.
Long before photography, botanical art captured the fine details of rare plants. A florilegium, Latin for a gathering of flowers, was one way to preserve them. At Grootbos, that tradition continues, as artists document the fynbos by hand, one species at a time.
My name is Chris Lochner. I'm a resident artist and curator at Grootbos Private Nature Reserve. A florilegium is a collection of plant illustrations, and traditionally that could be medicinal plants or plants from a collection or botanical garden.
More than 40 artists, mostly from South Africa, have taken part, creating detailed works that celebrate and safeguard this unique landscape.
We've illustrated 130 of the plants that occur here, but we have over 1,000 species on the reserve, so we still have a long way to go.
For Lochner, this is art with purpose, a project that fuels conservation and connects communities.
All the artworks in the Grootbos Florilegium are digitized, and we create high-quality art reproductions that we sell to our guests. The proceeds from these sales all go back to supporting our projects through the Grootbos Foundation. So on the one hand, we support our conservation work, but we also support teaching arts in the local community.
It's a different kind of artistic practice, but no less impactful than the designs of Leon Kluge. Last year, he took his floral vision to the world, winning Best in Show at the Singapore Garden Festival, the largest tropical garden event on Earth.
Just about 1 million people walk through the gardens in 10 days. So this exhibit is called Between Two Worlds, and it's that slither of time from when you are awake and then asleep. It's where reality and fantasy starts to merge in your mind, and that's exactly what we try to portray here.
Using light, sound and movement, Leon is able to transform the space with a breathing nest at its center.
What's incredible about this garden is how the light influences the colors of the flowers. It becomes a complete new world.
That award-winning design has been rebuilt back home in South Africa, a chance for local audiences to experience the show that captivated a global jury. But the focus for Leon is on a different stage.
This is the week before build-up in Chelsea. This is where everything comes together at once. But we can only start to harvest and see what flowers are ready for us a week before we leave for Chelsea.
Ahead of every Chelsea show, there's a race against time and weather to secure the perfect blooms. For Leon, that journey starts here in the Western Cape, among the local cut flower farms he's relied on for years. One of those farmers is Peter Kastner, who's grown proteas, pincushions, and other fynbos flowers in these hills for 2 decades.
We've got probably 5 or 6 different varieties of proteas, and about the same again on the pincushions. And then we also have fillers, which are the fynbos, that we'll kind of pick from the mountain or in between.
Following last year's Chelsea show, Leon's design was recreated close to Peter's farm, shining a spotlight on the work of the local community.
Leon has really done great things, especially for this area, Stanford, where we are, to have that Chelsea, the stand recreated here for the locals. It really has put Stanford on the map in South Africa. I mean, we're a small little village that, a lot of people didn't really even know about us until that. And then all of a sudden, there's this Chelsea gold medal award-winning show coming to little old Stanford.
After winning gold last year, the pressure is on to raise the bar.
There's a feeling of pressure, creativity, but I think pressure is definitely paramount because we did well last year and people really loved the garden. So this year we do want to push the boundaries a little bit further and express our flora even more so than last year. My biggest fear for the whole thing is the weather of harvesting week, and that is next week. So if it rains, no harvesting can happen.
At London's Royal Hospital grounds, the final hours of preparation are underway. For the team from South Africa and designer Leon Kluger, it marks the climax of a year of planning, harvesting, and hard labor.
Our biggest hurdle with the whole setup from start to finish is that week of harvesting the flowers. Is it gonna rain? It's out of our hands. Luckily that week, Monday all the way to Thursday, there was no rain in all the areas where we were harvesting flowers, so we could get everything we wanted.
From the mountain slopes of the Cape to the pavilions of Chelsea, thousands of stems have traveled across continents to tell a story of biodiversity and beauty.
When I received the call to say that everything went through customs, the boxes are at Heathrow, and the next morning they'll come to us, then already a sigh of relief is coming. But then the next step is to see what actually arrived. And each time I open a box, the design slightly changes in my head, because some of the flowers I've got a little bit of, some a lot, some not at all, and then there's one or two surprises. So it does constantly change.
To bring this vision to life, Leon relied on a talented build team, including some familiar faces from the Cape, all united by their deep connection to the fynbos and a shared pride in representing South Africa.
We were really helping with anything really that was needed to be done. Cutting flowers, helping wherever help is needed. Working with Leon has been amazing. He's such a chilled guy. He's so chilled and he's so calm.
We've been spending about a year in preparation for all of this. We've been spending the last week building. It's been very, very long days, a lot of hard labor doing this. But this gives me such a renewed sense of pride and appreciation for our flowers. It's just incredible seeing how many people come and are blown away by these flowers.
Leon's design is a tribute to the Cape Floral Kingdom, showcasing its diversity, climate, and connection to the sea.
Our floral kingdom is so influenced by our two oceans, the warm Indian Ocean and the cool, well, very cold actually, Atlantic Ocean, and the connection they have between our tall mountains. Now we have some exquisite fynbos that you never get to see, some really rare ones. And one of my favorites is this. This is called Protea snow leopard. Even in South Africa, we never get to see them. And one of my favorites, and it's the ground proteas. The shy proteas, they always hide underneath shrubbery. You never see them when you go on a hike. It's because they are pollinated by mice. So the mice don't want to be seen by owls or raptors. So usually these are showing down. So when the mice comes to the flower actually protects it from raptors and owls. It smells like croissants, like a fresh bakery. It's really lovely.
At the heart of the design, a canyon cuts between two mountains, a nod to the Cape's topography, with tea-colored water flowing through, echoing the tannin-rich streams found in South Africa's fynbos landscape.
I colored the water with rooibos tea, so it gives that exact color that we have in the streams back home in the Cape. And apparently the foxes love it. So every night we have foxes I don't know, probably a family of them. I saw some little paw prints as well. They go to both beaches and come and drink the water. And it's a little bit of wild Africa coming to the garden.
The moment of evaluation approaches. Here, every exhibit is assessed by expert judges, with gold reserved for those who exceed the highest expectations.
Just to say that you've won a medal at a show like Chelsea is phenomenal anyway, but it's immeasurable what something like this can do. And I think for many designers, it's a way to kind of breathe a bit of awareness about certain things.
Designers submit detailed briefs and are judged not just on beauty, but on precision, sustainability, and story.
You could produce the most brilliant garden in the world, but if your garden does not match that client brief, you will not win the medal that you want. But those who are lucky enough to get a gold, it's like a lifetime award, something that they can take with them forever.
For Leon and the team, the wait is over and the moment of truth has arrived.
So they told us we won. I quickly called home like, we won. I'm out of words. It's something so special. The whole team is full of emotions, people passing by, congratulating us.
For Leon, winning gold was just the beginning. He was also awarded the prestigious Lawrence Medal, given to the best floral exhibit across all Royal Horticultural Society shows in the past year.
Big round of applause.
It was just incredible. Yeah, it's a good feeling. I want to represent South Africa and our plants and my industry in the best way possible. Yeah, and not only here, but broadcasted wide and far to show how beautiful it is back home. We are ecstatically happy, and now the fun starts. Now all the public comes to the garden, and now we can share our flora with them and our stories.
And as the show continues, thousands more will walk through this stand, each encountering a chance to fall in love with a landscape like no other. Soon, this entire exhibit will be rebuilt in Stanford, South Africa, where it will continue to inspire locals and visitors alike.
That's the best part of all, taking this back to Stanford, the heart of the cut flower town, where everybody can come and see what their hard work brought to the world stage.
From mountains to marquees, these flowers have traveled far, but their roots remain deep in the fynbos that forms one of the world's greatest floral kingdoms.